Suho makes fun of Kai's skin. Fans aren't happy.
Bored on a Saturday evening? Download the Twitch app and hang out with this lady right here. You can barely see her. Follow stuff on Twitch. Hey. On a recent episode of this channel's show, Hallyuback News, we uploaded a video titled EXO supports... What the fuck did we call that video? Hang on. On one of our most recent videos, EXO stands up to racism. It came to our attention that a lot of people are upset that EXO members make fun of Kai for his slightly darker skin tone. I did not even personally notice myself that he had a darker skin tone. They all sort of look the same color to me, and they're all Korean, so to me, that doesn't matter at all. There's a lot to talk about here, but my first question for you is, do you really feel like EXO members, his homies, would make fun of him if they knew for sure that it bothered him? The whole thing about him being a darker skin tone than the rest of them.
Well, I don't think that it would keep them from actually picking on him a little bit, but probably if he really came out and like jumped on them, they probably would tone it back or not do that as much.
Do you think there's a difference between them teasing him or making fun of him off camera versus on camera? Do you think that the behaviors are different? Because a few instances that we have, the public, it's happened on Korean TV. It happened once on a show where they all asked who would do the best coffee commercial, and all the members pointed at Kai because he's got a coffee skin tone. People on the article say coffee equals black. I think what they meant was coffee with cream and sugar, which is not black.
The Chanyeol example, he asked Kai if he wanted to go for skin whitening on a radio program.
And then there's another example of Kyung-soo drawing a picture with using black color and then comparing it to Kai. So those are the three examples. Those are the public examples. There might be other examples.
There's a lot more. I've got a lot more right here.
Oh, geez. All right. But don't you think they have asked him off camera if this is okay or not?
Probably not.
You think they have not okayed it with him, and then they just go on public TV and just surprise the shit out of him? You don't think EXO's that close?
Do you think that people, when they make fun of somebody, they don't choose a topic that bothers them just a little bit?
Also important to note, in the example where Chanyeol asks if he wants skin whitening, then afterwards he puts his hand on his shoulder and it looks like Kai brushed him off. Well, when you're on public TV, you have to focus on what you're doing. That's not evidence that Kai doesn't like it. I mean, that's what somebody wrote in the article that we're covering, or the blog post. But that doesn't really prove anything. You can't just look at 1 second of his facial expression and know, oh my God, he hates this. This is the point in the video where I want to differentiate between mono-ethnic cultures and cultures like the United States, where all of the cultures or all of the ethnicities are represented. When you're from a mono-ethnic culture, it becomes a lot more acceptable, as long as you're okay with the person, to sort of make fun of their appearance, whatever the thing that you're making fun of is. Let me give you a couple examples I want to talk about before everybody jumps on me. When I lived in Spain, one of the kids in the 15-20 member male group that I got to be a part of was El Negro. They called him El Negro. He came up to me and said, Rick. They call me Rick. Call me El Negro. Me llamo El Negro. You know, he called himself, El Negro means black, or call me the black guy. I thought that was a little strange until I went to Argentina, and there's another gentleman in the group that was El Negro Tata. I mean, they do this, and the people that are actually being called this don't mind. So it is possible that you could be teased by this and it's not bothering you at all. I'm not saying that's what this case is, but that's why my first question is, don't you think they okayed it with Kai? So I want to know, where is the evidence that Kai is bothered by this? That's really what the point of this is. If we can find somewhere where he's being interviewed saying, don't call me this, or I don't like when they do this, they should definitely stop. If there's absolutely nowhere on the web where we can find where Kai, then maybe this isn't that terrible. Even though darker skin tone is looked down upon in Korea, and we've talked about this, everybody seems to know about this, it doesn't necessarily mean that in this case, this is a bad thing.
I want to look that up right now because I wasn't looking that up specifically when I was searching this and I was researching or looking into more information about this topic. Instead, I looked into why this happens, why people call other people blackie or make fun of their skin color in Korea, and that is because it is this society that is very homogeneous. They haven't really branched out beyond the native Korean population. They're all Korean there, and you have this class differentiation between people who got to be rich and live inside and work inside versus people who maybe were in the rural parts of Korea and worked on the farm. Those people tended to have darker skin, and also because of immigration, people from Southeast Asia moving in, Korean men or women, but mostly men, marrying Southeast Asian women to bring over and help work their farms. It's got this negative connotation that is also supported by cosmetics companies and other skin protection companies and big business.
I want to be clear here, though. This, to me, is not at all, I'm 100% sure, evidence of racism or them being racist towards Kai. That's not what this is. This is teasing and joking, and it could be a little bit more than that. If we do in fact know for sure that Kai doesn't like it, they ought to stop. I don't think we know for sure that it bothers Kai or doesn't bother Kai, or even if it bothers him a little, it still might be okay because they've talked about it, because they've been together for a long time now. EXO has been a group in K-pop for 5 years, and how in the heck would they make fun of one of their members straight to his face on public TV with millions of people watching if in fact they knew he didn't like it?
Maybe he's gotten used to it, or he's learned to swallow it, because what is he gonna do? In
the United States, unlike in monoethnic cultures, we have a lot of racist problems here still. There's white supremacists, or there's white people in middle America or wherever they are that are really pissed off that Latinos and blacks and Asians and whoever else are starting to get a little bit more of a foothold. Things are starting to equal out just a tiny little bit more, where we seem to be going that direction, where we don't tolerate racism anymore. And there's white people who are pissed off about this. This is not the case in most other countries. Most other countries look at us and think that we're fucking crazy because we have all of these cultures and we fight over each other. We don't see our own people as our own group. We have all these different groups here, even though we're all American citizens, and this is a unique situation in the world versus other places that Koreans see other Koreans and they go, that's my countryman. Even if he's got a darker skin tone or lighter skin tone, they don't give a shit about that. I mean, like, they like to make fun of each other a little bit, but, and I'm not sticking up, maybe they shouldn't do this if he doesn't like it, but if he doesn't mind, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's not a big deal.
But they do give a shit about this because that can actually affect things like dating, job. You know, whether or not you get a job, your skin tone can actually affect that. It does have an impact, probably not as much as we think. The different EXO members were actually questioned about who they would date, and they said that they would not, out of all the members of EXO, they would never date Tao or Kai because they got dark skin, because they want their pristine, good white girls.
This was a long video. I don't even feel like we covered everything, but comments, you guys, please, whether you're in the United States and you've traveled out to other countries or you haven't, in your experience, or if you're in another country that's a little bit more mono-ethnic, and how you feel that's different from what people in the United States experience, and then if you've been to Korea and you've seen people get made fun of for this.
And what are your other observations that you've seen with EXO? We only covered a couple of the instances. I know that there are a lot of examples of this colorism with EXO. What are your thoughts?
Click the like button. Thank you for supporting us here at HallyuBack. Click the bell for notifications. Check out the link to Kega. Also check out the link out to her new prints. And don't forget to subscribe for more HallyuBack news. That's it. We're out of here. Hasta luego.
Bye.